Are you looking for happiness? Would you like to add a few years onto your life? Well, if your answer to most of those questions is yes, then the gospel reading I just read, that gospel is for you. Now, the gospel comes out of the 6th chapter of Luke, verses 27 to 38. And we're going to do something a little different this gospel homily time. We're going to read this gospel reading together as a prayer, because it is believed that when you say something, you begin to own it. So if we could say this gospel together and move it from our lips to our hearts and then to our life, if we can live every tenet that this gospel reading offers, you find yourself a happier person. And medical research has shown that happy people live longer. So let's take a look at the gospel reading together. We're going to pray this and read this together. Together? Jesus said to his disciples, "To you who hear, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. To the person who strikes you on one cheek, offer the other one as well. And from the person who takes your cloak, do not withhold even your tunic. Give to everyone who asks of you. And for the one who takes what is yours, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. For if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do the same. If you lend money to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners and get back the same amount. But rather love your enemies and do good to them, and lend expecting nothing back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High. For he himself is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful just as your Father is merciful. Stop judging, and you will not be judged. Stop condemning, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and gifts will be given to you. A good measure, packed together, shaken down, and overflowing will be poured into your lap. For the measure with which you measure will be measured back to you." They just moved to the next one. Forgive them. You know what happens is that's a beautiful gospel reading. If we could just live the tenets of that gospel reading, you find yourself just being a much happier person. Here's what happens. When you wake up in the morning, nearly every human being is faced with the decision, the attitude, the disposition you're going to have that day. Are you going to be happy? You're going to be mad? You're going to be miserable? You're going to complain, or you're going to compliment? Those are really decisions we make in the morning and throughout the course of the day. It reminds me of this fellow. He was a passenger on a train. He was going across country. He got a little hungry, so he walked up to the dining car. He sat down. The waiter said to him, "Sir, what would you like to eat?" And the fellow said, "Well, looking at your menu here, I'll take the steak, mashed potatoes, and asparagus." The waiter went back and told the chef what this man wanted, and the chef said, "Oh, go back and tell him we don't have asparagus. We ran out of asparagus." So the waiter went back to the passenger and said, "Sorry, sir, we don't have asparagus. You'll have to select something else." And he got really mad and really upset. "How could you not have asparagus? This is a dining car. You don't have asparagus? It says right on the menu you have asparagus." "Well, sorry, sir, we don't have asparagus." And he said, "Well, that's it. If I can't have asparagus, I'm not going to eat anything at all." So the waiter, feeling bad, went back and told the chef. The chef, feeling bad, went and told the conductor. The conductor said to himself, "Well, there's a town up the tracks about 20 miles from here. We're going to make an unexpected stop." So they made an unexpected stop. They gave the waiter a few dollars, sent him into town to find a grocery store. Without any time at all, he found a grocery store. He bought a big pile of asparagus. He returned to the train, and the train took off, and the cook starts to cook up the asparagus. The waiter went to the passenger and said, "Sir, guess what? We made an unexpected stop. We picked up some asparagus, so would you like your supper?" And the fella said, "No, I don't want any asparagus now." And the waiter said to him, "Sir, we made an unexpected stop. We picked you up some asparagus. Would you like your meal with asparagus?" "No, I don't want any asparagus now." And then the waiter said to him, "Sir, why don't you want any asparagus?" And he said, "Because I like being mad." But that's true. You might know some folks in your life who like being mad. I've run across people in all these years as a priest, I've run across people who like being mad. When I figure that I can't change their disposition or their attitude, that nothing's going to work, what I realize is, oh, you like being mad. So I'm glad I was able to make you even madder. Because you like it. But there are folks who make a decision to be mad. I don't want any asparagus because I like being mad. I don't want you to make me happy because I like being mad. You see, all these things are decisions we make. Some people like being mad. Some people like judging. Some people like complaining. Some people like being angry. Some people just like being dark and have a cloud over the top of their head. This is a powerful gospel reading this morning. That's why we read it together. Because if you could live the tenets of this gospel, you'd be a much happier person. And happy people live longer. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, I can't live all the tenets of the gospel reading. That was an awful lot there. I can maybe do just a little section at a time. Okay, then. The full section of today's gospel reading was chapter 6 of Luke, verse 27 to 38. When you get home today, and maybe before you crawl in bed tonight, if you're the kind of person that likes to read a little passage out of the Bible, and you have the Bible on your nightstand, or your coffee table, or somewhere in your living room, dig it out and go to the 6th chapter of Luke, verse 27 to 38. You will find what we just read together. But you might say to yourself, I cannot live that entire gospel. I'll live just a small section. How does that sound? Well, maybe you can live just one verse. I think one of the most powerful verses in the gospel reading is verse 37 of the 6th chapter of Luke. And I'm going to end today with that verse. Because if you could live that verse, you'd be a much happier person. And then if you could be a much happier person, you'll live longer. This is powerful. Verse 37, 6th chapter of Luke. Can you do it? Maybe you do it already, which is great. Keep doing it. But if you fall in any one of those categories, or 2 or 3 of them, or all 3 of them, maybe you say to yourself, it's about time I start living 37th verse of the 6th chapter of Luke. And it says this. These are some powerful words. Stop judging, and you will not be judged. Stop condemning, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven.